I got the Preston Petty. I got the headlight on,
Oh, good.
so that's
So how long does it last?
like 6 hours, according to Paul.
Oh, well, if Paul said that, I'm sure
I'm.
it probably lasts 12 hours.
I don't know about 12, but it'll go 6
He's
for
a
sure.
man of his word.
Yeah, he is.
Him and his sausages.
So now, last week, before we began, you said you'd never pick Ferrandis in your fantasy super. What do you call it? Supercross picks.
Never.
But he finished in the top 5. So does that change your tone this week?
No, it doesn't, because he falters and he's not consistent. So, no, he'll never go in my top 5. When was the last time he was in the top 5? In 9 races. It was the 9th race.
Never.
Well,
What about Webb? Is Webb moving up on your barometer?
yeah, I think so. Well, they say that Webb never doesn't get going until the 10th race.
Yeah, till almost halfway through the season, and when it comes to Supercross.
Well, there you go. And he took a second last week. So,
You might be back on the Webb wagon.
I might.
Okay.
Could be.
Okay. Did Kai call? It's his birthday today? 9th birthday? Our grandson?
No, I called him and he's probably partying.
All right, the show's about to start. Okay. Gotta go.
You're live.
Let's get down to the starting line, and I'll tell you what you're going to see on tonight's show. And the next time, try this segment. We've got a great little live segment for you tonight. I'm going to give you a little tip about some of the anodizing on certain rims. In the Moto Showcase, a 1977 Yamaha YZ125 that was sent in to us from Australia. We've got Here's the Problem, some of your questions from the previous week. What's it worth? A 1976 Yamaha YZ175. In the Just How I See It segment, we are going to be talking about the hottest topic going on this week, gas prices. And this is not just about gas in your tank today, but what are you going to do when it comes to this racing season? How far will you travel? What will you do? What about race gas? I want to hear your comments throughout the show. Don't forget, comment about gas prices, how it may affect your racing season this year. We've got all that and a whole lot more coming up on Vintage Motocross Q&A. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Abadi, and you're watching Vintage Motocross Q&A. Thank you for joining me tonight, and thank you, Jordan, Chelsea, and Susie, for helping me put the show together. In fact, the lovely and enchanting Susie is sitting with me right here in the studio, perfume, fragrant, in a low-cut blouse. She's absolutely stunning, but enough about that right now. Thank you for joining me this evening, and we hope we're going to bring you a great show. Don't forget to keep sharing the show, whether you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, comment Motion Pro. A little bit later on in the show, we will have a random share giveaway winner who will win this beautiful sticker sheet, compliments of Vintco. So keep sharing the show. The YouTube channel is going great. You hear me talk about it week after week. Why don't you go over there and join the YouTube channel? Eventually, I won't have to run this segment in the show to tell you to join. I'll have so many members that I'll be collecting money every month. Subscribe now. You get a little alert just like this. When that little alert happens, it'll tell you when we are live on the show. The best way to watch the show, the way the experts are watching it, is sitting inside watching your big screen TV, that big 52-inch TV you bought with the stimulus money. Sit back, comment about the show while watching your big screen TV. Best way to watch Vintage Motocross Q&A. Gino, take it easy, man. I want to thank the sponsors, Motion Pro, Vintco, Racer X, Preston Petty Products, Full Circle Racing, Northwest Mako CZ, Bill's Pipes, back for more, and Sunrise Vapor Blasting. Tonight's next time, try this segment. I want to talk to you about something that, well, it prompted this the other day. I saw something on Facebook, and somebody was talking about XL rims and getting off that logo that's on the side. Now I'll tell you this, on the black, on the gold, blue, any other color other than silver, you're not going to get off that logo that is on the side, not with acetone, not with anything, because it is not only anodized on the rim, it also has a clear anodizing over it. Now on the silver rims, it is possible for you to take that off, but it has to be sanded off and then polished. Sand it off and then polish. You can do it on the silver rims, but not on the black, not on the gold, not on the blue, or any other color. And I learned this the hard way many, many years ago. I had an RM 125 that I did put XL rims on, and it was just before I had to put the bike on display at Rockefeller Center. And I was saying, well, maybe I could get that off. And I started to take it off with a little wet or dry sandpaper. It did come off. The red did come off. But what I didn't realize was that I was breaking through the clear anodizing as well. And I had to go around the whole rim, both sides, 2 rims. So if you plan on buying a set of XL rims, or you're thinking that you can get that logo off there, you can. You can on the silver rims, but you're going to have to polish it off. So if you're considering that, well, next time, try that. Mm-hmm. Vinco, they got a great special going on this week. It is the 1985 and 86 CR250 piston. This is for the 84 and 85 CR250, but it also fits the ATC 250R. This piston kit comes with everything you see in the picture, from the wrist pin, the rings, the clips, the piston, obviously, just $149.95. $149.95 this week at Vinco. Keep the ride going. In the Moto Showcase tonight, we take a look at a 1977 Yamaha YZ125D. And just to show you how far our show really goes, this person, and his name is Brian McGuire, saw our show. He's been watching it down in Australia. And Brian asked me if we could put his bike on the show, and I agreed that we would be happy to do that. Brian bought this bike in kind of rough condition. Here it is, you see it in the first 2 pictures. It needed some work. Let me tell you what Brian told me about the bike. Hi, Joe. The 77 YZ125D I built to race in the pre-78 class in Australia. No, it's not standard. I modified it just a bit. I needed to run a rear chain sprocket guard for race rules, so I thought I would incorporate it into the modern style chain guide. I modified the frame to take chain rollers off templates. I took that off a 1978 model. I added 3 pieces of flat plate to the swing arm for added strength. From looking at some OW27 photos, I threw the plastic swing arm bushings away. I had some bronze bushings modified and to accept grease and zert fittings, and I also did that to the rear shock linkage and the brake pedal as well for easy service. I now run 3 bearings in the rear hub. Interesting, 3 bearings in the rear hub. He hopes that will help with not throwing the chain. It took me about 3 days to polish the original rims. I laced them with stainless steel spokes. The motor, I poured and polished myself, and the exhaust port and combustion chamber are all in the exhaust port and the combustion chamber. There's also a new rod kit, the gearbox bearings, and I also replaced carbon reeds. After listening to your interview with Harry Clem, I made an engine pressure tester, and I'm really, really glad I did, because I had engine leaks all over the place. I finally got everything sorted out, and my engine will now hold 6 pounds of air for about 10 minutes. It's really great. Anyway, the upper forks I polished. The original chrome was in nice shape. It's got Race Tech emulators and springs. The rear shock is a 400 YZ. I took that advice from Robert Fish. It's got a stronger spring, more cooling fins, and it's got a Gold Tech valve in there as well. The decals are from Evo MX. I spent days sanding and buffing the original gas tank. After putting fuel in it, it split. A lot of that can happen. Yep. Anyway, this is a reproduction tank. I bought the bars at a swap meet for just $5. The kill switch and throttle I bought years ago when I was on holiday in Thailand. I took a punt, painting the frame white and the motor and hubs, and it all worked out. Thanks for contacting me, Joe, and thanks for putting my bike on the show. I really admire all that you do for the promotion of vintage motocross all over the world. Well, thank you, Brian McGuire, and we are going to get you some gifts, compliments of Preston Petty products, and I've got some other things for you here too. You're going to have to be a little patient with shipping. You are in Australia. I'll work it all out with you. Be sure to contact me with your mailing address. I'll need that. I'm shipping some other things to Australia. They're going to be in those shipments, and then once those things get to Australia, the stuff will get to you. Thanks, Brian McGuire. Really great looking bike. I like that. What do we got next, Jordan? Oh, Preston Petty. They're still looking for dealers. Paul Stanley will have you as a retail dealer if you get a hold of them. Get a hold of Paul Standard at Preston Petty Products. So wherever you are and you have retail customers, you can become a vendor and get some special pricing and make a couple of bucks thanks to Paul Standard and Preston Petty Products. Now, there are a few things going on at Preston Petty Products this week. The first thing I want to talk to you about is, Jordan, back up a second. Thank you very much. There is a headlight number plate mount special that's going on. So did you see this? 50% off. Billet aluminum black anodized while they last. They're usually $44.95. This week they're only $22.95 while they last. Get over to PrestonPettyProducts.com. Now, the next thing I want to tell you about is this amazing LED headlight. And you can see it over here in the background. I started it up before the show. It's a great item. Got a little toggle switch on it, an LED battery. There's a little pigtail that Paul Standard sent me just yesterday. You plug it into the light so you can have a tail light and a headlight. Now, look, I could talk about this thing till I'm blue in the face, but why don't we have the man who was there, worked with Preston Petty and with Mike Murphy and a few other people to get this thing started. There's a special going on. I'm going to give you a code at the end of the show. Anyway, Jordan, run the video with Paul Standard. He knows all about this thing. It's a good little video.
Hi, I'm Paul with Preston Petty Products. I'm here to announce our new product. It's a self-contained LED headlight that is battery powered with a 5-ounce lithium battery. Mike Murphy in 2013 came out with this idea. He worked with Preston Petty on it. Kevin Donovan has helped us get us over the finish line by coming up with the wiring for all of this. It's absolutely a fantastic idea. No special tools needed, no special ignition system needed. All you need to do is take our headlights out of the box, put 4 zip ties onto your forks to hold it in place, and turn the toggle switch on. Bang! Simple and easy. It is absolutely a fantastic idea that we've been working on. We love it. I think you're gonna love it. It makes everybody's life a lot easier. And at the end of the show tonight, Joe is gonna be giving you a special code. With that code, we will allow the first 20 people to get a reduced sales price on these headlights. So listen for Joe to give the coupon code. Go to our Preston Petty Products website and you can order tonight. We have them in stock right now, ready to go. Thank you. We're really proud of this. Thank you very much.
Standard. We're going to give everybody the code at the end of the show. There are only 20 available. Paul Standard, that was a great video. You could be the next Billy Mays. You're doing a great job. Jordan, what do we have up next? Here's the problem segment. This is where the questions come in throughout the week, and we do our best to answer them. Jordan, what do we have up first? Jack Warner, how can you torque cylinder base nuts properly when there is no way to reach them with a conventional torque wrench? Yeah, down at the base of the cylinder, just like you see here on this KX 125, I think it is. You can't get a torque wrench in those places, but there is an answer to that, Jack, and it looks just like this. They make extenders for your torque wrench. You can buy them just like that, where you can put your torque wrench right into the extender, but you can also get a special tool, and Motion Pro actually makes one. You could put it on the wrench and then put your torque wrench into that billet aluminum piece, and then you could torque it from there. My advice also is that when you put that adapter onto your wrench, make sure you put it as close to the nut as possible, because if you put it back toward the back of the wrench, you're going to throw off your torque specs just a little bit. But the best way, really the only way, to get your torque wrench onto those base nut gaskets, or maybe some other places on your bike too, where you want to torque something, is to get those extenders just like that. Thanks for the question, Jack. Jerry Russell, can you verify, because I have a problem believing it, that there is no head gasket on a 1972 Husqvarna CR250? I'm new to Huskies, just want to be sure. That is true, Jerry. Believe it or not, there is no head gasket on a 1972, 73, a lot of those early Huskies. The head was actually machined. It's got a little lip around it, and there is no head gasket on that. There are a few other bikes out there that don't have head gaskets as well. When it comes to that, I'm thinking, I remember a Can-Am, took apart a Can-Am many years ago that I was racing to find out that it didn't have a head gasket on it. But yeah, and if you look right down there in that gasket set, it's a complete gasket set. You see the clutch cover, the center case cover, the base gaskets for the reed valves, but you won't see a head gasket in there. With good reason, there is no head gasket on 1972, 73, and some other early era Husqvarna CR250s and 450s.
Hello, this is Donnie Hansen. You're watching Vintage Motocross Q&A, and we'll be right back.
All right, before we went to that commercial, Jordan, my producer director, did prompt me to mention the Just How I See It segment, which will be coming up a little bit later on in the show. The topic tonight is gas prices. They're at an all-time high, historically high. How will that affect you when it comes to racing this summer? That will affect race gas, oil, and of course, gas that goes into your car or truck or diesel. So keep commenting throughout the show how that is going to affect what you decide to do when it comes to racing this summer. We look forward to hearing your questions and comments. Susie will be reading them off a little bit later on in the show. Right now, let's get on with the What's It Worth segment. Jordan, what do we have this week? We've got a 1976 Yamaha YZ 175 that was recently sold on eBay. The bike was sold in Arizona on January 19th. I will tell you more about the bike. You guess what you think the bike sold for. And the description, I've got a couple of things I don't agree with, but you know what? Let me read it, see what the seller said, and we'll go from there. It's an extremely rare model. It's rare, but not extremely rare. Anyway, it was built only in 1976, and is the big brother to the immortal YZ 175, which is 125, which is still in production. The YZ 175 shared the chassis of the 125 with long travel front suspension, monoshock rear suspension, for the last year, a steel gas tank. It actually has an aluminum gas tank, not a steel gas tank. It shares the YZ 125 crankcase with a larger cylinder, barrel, and head to increase the engine by 50 cc's. It's got a new top-end bore job with a Wiseco piston, has new air filters, new plastic and seat. A nice DG aluminum swing arm, new tires, tubes, as well as fork boots. Very nice set of original KYB air forks with safety springs installed. I have no idea what he means by safety springs. But anyway, new grips, cables, chain, has factory carburetor, which was rebuilt with a new intake manifold. Nice tank, still has the original paint. It has also a Protect chain tensioner. Yeah, it's a rare model, extremely rare. I don't know about extremely rare. They built about 15 or 1,600 of them. And it did have an aluminum tank, and I guess somebody put, I'm thinking somebody put springs in these forks, so they probably didn't either know how to adjust the air fork canisters, or maybe there was something going on with them. Either way, it did look like a nice bike. It does have a DG swing arm. The gas tank does look to have the original paint. Anyway, it was sold January 19th. How much do you think it sold for in Arizona? $5,000? $7,000. This bike sold for $6,500. $6,500. Not a bad price, really. There were about 1,500 of them made. The DG swing arm is a nice addition. And yeah, I mean, to find a stock swing arm wouldn't be too difficult. $6,500. A fairly original bike. I thought it was a pretty fair price. You don't see many 175s out there. Who got closest without going over? You don't know? Anyway.
South Scarper.
Who?
South Scarper.
Sal Scarper got the highest without going over?
Well, he got 6,100.
6,100?
6,100.
Sal Scarper's a good guy.
But Waylon Strofshire
Yeah.
said he'd give 6,000, but it probably went for 84.
No, didn't go for that much. Anyway, Full Circle Racing is still running a great special, Susie, believe it or not. They're powder coating hubs, front and rear. Just $50 a hub, $10 more if you want to do the brake backing plate. That comes in black with a matte or gloss for just a couple of bucks more. Tom McAllister will make them any color you want in the rainbow. So don't forget, Full Circle Racing for your on-road, off-road, dual-purpose adventure bikes. No matter what it is, he's got the spokes, he's got the rims. See Tom McAllister.
Is that supposed to be in your ear?
Ever. What's the matter?
Is that supposed to be in your ear?
No, Susie. Take it easy.
All right, I got it.
Have you ever heard of Segment? Let's talk about that tonight. It's a very, very interesting bike. Have you ever heard of a Wooler? Wooler. It was made in the UK. I'll tell you a little bit about the Wooler while Jordan goes through the slides. Wooler was a British manufacturer of motorcycles and automobiles founded by engineer John Wooler in 1911, based in Alperton, Middlesex. The company became known for its unconventional designs, which included several fore and aft twins, a vertical camshaft single-cylinder machine, a transverse four-beam engine, and a transverse flat four. Most machines possessed Wooler enduring design features of a petrol tank which extended far past the headlight. Very, very interesting. John Wooler designed his first motorcycle in 1909, a two-stroke horizontal single-cylinder machine with a double-ended piston. Anyway, the first production model was a 230cc two-stroke with front and rear plunger suspension and patented anti-vibratory frame. The motorbike was manufactured by Wilkinson from 1912 onward, and it had a 344cc engine marketed by, as I mentioned, Wilkinson Wooler. Production had stopped during World War I. Motorcycle production resumed in 1919 with a new and advanced machine, which was entered into the 1921 Junior TT. It was nicknamed the Flying Banana by Graham Walker. Wooler returned in 1945 with a prototype 500cc transverse four shaft drive with an unusual beam type engine with the cylinders set one above the other like the Bro Superior Golden Dream. Now, no more than 5 of these bikes were ever thought to be built before the company closed in 1956 after Wooler's death. However, if you want to see an example of it, there is one on display at the British National Motorcycle Museum. And now you have heard about the Wooler. The Wooler. Sunrise Vapor Blasting. I'm wearing the shirt, and I rave about Sunrise Vapor Blasting wherever I go. Why? Because they do such a great job, whether it's aluminum, magnesium, no matter what it may be. If you want to get something clean, ready for paint or polishing, get a hold of Sunrise Vapor Blasting. They're right down there in Modesto, and if you get a little box of them, a box of things shipped to them, they'll wrap it all up really, really quickly. Turnaround time is wonderful. The prices are exceptionally reasonable. So no matter what it is, if it floats, flies, or rolls, okay, you get it down to Sunrise Vapor Blasting to get it all cleaned up for you. We're going to take a commercial break. Don't forget to keep sharing the show, whether you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube. When we get back, we will have tonight's random share giveaway. And don't forget, keep commenting about gas prices. How will that affect your race season this year? We'll be right back.
Classic and vintage dirt bikes are more than a hobby. It's not just about the ride. It's about the work that goes in. The work that keeps you connected to the ride. It's about bringing the bike back to life and doing it with your own hands. It's about the adrenaline and adventure. And when it comes to putting all the pieces together, only Vinco knows the bikes and parts the way you do. Vinco. Keep the ride going.
Okay, as promised, we have tonight's random share giveaway winner, and they will be getting this beautiful sticker sheet, compliments of Vinco. Tonight's winner is Robert Fish. Robert Fish. Get us your mailing address, Robert. I will get you out that nice sticker sheet, compliments of Vinco.com. Robert Fish, great guy, big YZ guy. Check him out on Facebook. I didn't have to give you a plug, Robert, but I like you. What do we got coming up next, Jordan? Just how I see it. I've been prompting you throughout the show about gas prices. We're seeing them at a historic high, and it will not only affect the gas you put in your car, it will, of course, the gas you put in your bike, and it will affect your race gas as well as oil. Now, a lot of guys out there, whether it's ARMA or some of the other clubs, plan out a big season of racing, driving throughout the country, and hitting as many races as they can. But I'm wondering, what will happen this year as prices skyrocket past $6 a gallon in some areas? So whether you're running a generator in your camp or you're running a big diesel rig and pulling a trailer all over the country, I've been wondering what will happen now that prices are at a historical high. $6.50. You can see it right there in the picture. And you know what? Even back in my home state of New Jersey, a state that is historically low on gas prices, they've been hit with a new gas tax, and their prices are bordering on what we're seeing here in California. So I was wondering what and how it will affect some of you. I know some people don't really care. I've even seen some of the most, I've seen some outrageous posts really on Facebook when it comes to gas prices. Probably one of the most outrageous I saw was someone saying that they don't care how high gas goes. They work from home. All they're concerned about is, can they get it when they need it? Yeah, that's a great way of looking at it. I'm sure you and 82 million other people are thinking the same way. But you need to think about more people. What about the cost of getting goods to your door? What about food? What about trucks? What about people who really rely on fuel to do their jobs every day? And I don't care if that's UPS, FedEx, or whatever it may be. Anyway, I was interested in hearing your comments. I'm going to turn over to Susie right now and see who came in with some of their thoughts. Susie, what do we got?
Paul Griffin.
Paul Griffin, yeah.
He says, depending on how far.
Depending on how far.
The track is. And then he said something about race gas.
Well, if regular gas is up to $6, race gas is generally $2 or $3 more than that. It's more than that.
Yeah.
So race gas is probably going to cost $10 a gallon. Now, what's the good news about race gas? We're old guys racing old bikes. How much race gas are you going to burn up in one day?
Yeah.
A gallon and a half, what's it going to cost you? 10 or 15 bucks?
Yeah.
You have a stroke before you go through 2 gallons.
That's true.
But anyway.
Jim Schultz says he might put up some bucket list tracks,
Yeah.
that instead of traveling to events. Unadilla and Glen Helen are $1,000 gas tabs for me. So he'll try to hit events that maximize seat time.
Yeah, well, that's what it's going to have to be. I think a lot of guys are going to pick and choose where they are going to race this summer. It doesn't look like things are going to change anytime soon. So I was just thinking about it before the show went on tonight. Something topical, something that we could talk about, something that might be a little bit controversial. And certainly this thing is affecting so many people. And it will affect us in our leisure when it comes to racing old bikes or traveling this summer. Thanks for the comments.
Anywhere.
What's that?
You can't do anything or go anywhere.
No, I mean, you can finally
it's
take
all over Facebook every second.
Yeah, it's just, you can finally take your mask off. Too bad you can't afford gas to go anyplace. Anyway.
Mark Warren says prices will drop again. I'm still going racing.
Prices will drop again? I mean, historically, they go up in the summer as weather gets warmer. I hope Mark Warren is correct. And some people say, well, you're spoiled in America because up in Canada and other places, it's $4 a liter, which is like $9 a gallon or something like that.
It is. Yeah.
Anyway, I want to thank everybody for putting in their comments, whatever it may be. And who knows, maybe this madness will end soon. Jordan, let's go on with the next segment. What do we got coming up now? This Week in Motocross History is brought to you by Racer X Magazine. Be sure to visit Racer X online and, of course, on your newsstand where you can get your subscription. Racer X. 1980. Yeah, it was Daytona week, and that's why I thought so much about Daytona. And Rex Staten, probably one of his more memorable finishes. He had some great finishes in his career, though. But anyway, Rex Staten piloted his Yamaha to the overall win at the Daytona Supercross. Suzuki rider Marty Smith was second that day in 1980, followed by series points leader Mike Too Tall Bell. Staten's Yamaha teammate, Honda's Chuck Sun, and Donnie Hansen rounded out the top 5. But yeah, Rocket Rex back in 1980. 1981, Suzuki's Darrell Schultz, shoe ain't scared. Darrell Schultz won the Daytona Supercross over Yamaha rider Donnie Cantalupi and Honda riders Jim Gibson and Donnie Hansen. Suzuki mounted rookie Denny Bentley, riding in his first ever AMA Supercross, finished 5th. Not a bad finish for Bentley back then. 1987, this is one of the most memorable things that ever happened to a privateer, and that's why I named it Private Ryan. In one of the biggest upsets in AMA Supercross history, privateer Honda rider Ricky Ryan won the Daytona Supercross. Ryan, who hailed from Northern California, took advantage of the muddy conditions and a slew of bad luck by some of the other usual contenders, like defending champion Ricky Johnson, who tangled with Ron Lachine off the start, and Jeff Ward, who ran off the track in one of the first couple of laps and really had a difficult time getting restarted. Ryan kept slogging away in front of a crowd, and the track was so saturated that they had to delay the race for 3 days until track designer Gary Bailey was able to go out there with his crew and try the track out. They almost canceled the race, but it did start 3 hours later. And with just 2 laps to go, Ryan was following leader Keith Bowen when a rock jammed between the chain and sprocket of Bowen's Yamaha, costing him the win. Ryan ended up taking the checkered flag with a 12-second lead on Yamaha's Jeff Stanton and Suzuki's George Holland. That is absolutely, it was an incredible time, really. 1987 for Ricky Ryan. And it's always a trivia question, too. A lot of times, who was the first privateer to win a Supercross? And Ricky Ryan is the answer to that question. Thank you, Racer X, for supplying us with a lot of the information that we use in the MX history segment of our show. We've got some announcements tonight. Jordan, what do we have up first? Bill's Pipes. Don't forget to visit them on Facebook. They are still making pipes out there, but can be a little bit of a challenge to contact. But if you go over to their Facebook page, there's a phone number there. There's contact information for their website, which I think is being rebuilt. But anyway, I think Bill's Pipes is very, very happy with what we've been doing for them here at Vintage Motocross Q&A. We were on a little trial run for 3 months with Bill's Pipes. And as soon as that trial run ended, they were right back, wanted to renew. So we want to thank Bill's Pipes and, of course, Randy Scott, who is my liaison, so to speak, for Bill's Pipes. Thank you, Randy Scott. I want to wish my dear friend, Donnie Hanson, a very, very happy birthday. His birthday is not today. Today is my grandson Kai's birthday, but tomorrow, March 10th. Donnie Hanson, of course, the 1982 Supercross and Outdoor Champion, as well as a team member of the most memorable Trophy Donations and Motocross Donations team that year as well. Happy birthday, Whole Shot. In a couple of weeks, in fact, it'll be 3 weeks. It'll be a little short of 3 weeks. I can't release all the information until March 28th, but I have heard from Bombardier and a couple of other people who are putting this Can-Am 50th anniversary together, and I will tell you all about what is going to happen for the 50th anniversary. It will be an international event, but you who live in America will still be able to get there, and no, it is not in Mexico. It's an international event, and it's put on by Can-Am. Need I give you any more hints about where the event will take place? But stick around, because you're going to hear a lot about this, and this isn't like a one-day thing. This is like a 3 or 4 day event. There's going to be a lot of people from around the world, a lot of Can-Am history, and I'm very, very honored that John Lake asked me to be the MC for the event for 3 days. Looking forward to it, and I'll be looking forward to telling you more about the Can-Am 50th reunion. Oh, Scott Burnworth. Does he have another race coming up, or doesn't he? Of course he does. He got the SoCal Vintage MX Spring Classic. That is coming up May 1st, 2022 at Verona Oaks. That's where Scotty and the boys cut their teeth on the minis way back in the day. You ever see some of those pictures on Facebook? Scott Burnworth, Ron Lachine, John Kite, and a couple other guys, all with those little mini bikes, those little YZ80s and stuff, all buzzing around Verona Oaks. And now here it is, many, many decades later. Scott and Debbie Burnworth always putting on a great show for everybody down there in Southern California. I hope I can make it this year, Scott. Midwest, they've got their schedule out. They've got vintage, they've got Evo, they've got modern. The first race happens June 25th and 26th. That is in Hickston. And yeah, you want to get out there for the Midwest thing. And is this the one, Jordan, where the first race was? No, that was another one that just happened this past weekend. This is a different thing. Midwest Vintage Motocross. I'm thinking about another cross-country run that was canceled, but that has nothing to do with this. Anyway, get over and check out the Midwest Vintage Motocross, guys. They got races running throughout all summer, all the way into October. Don't forget, if you've got an event coming up, send it in to me. I will post it here on the show. We'll talk about it a little bit here. And we've also got that great Facebook page where all the USA Vintage events are now being posted. There it is right there. USA Vintage Motocross races and events. And I'm one of the administrators for that page, and all the events that are coming up this summer are posted there. And it's really, really neat. They got nice categories. They've got it by the month. They've got it by the region. There's a lot of ways to find out where events are coming up in your area. Now, I told you a little bit earlier about that amazing new LED headlight that Paul Stannard and Preston Petty Products has put out. Now, you see it's burning over there just as bright as it did at the beginning of the show, and I had that thing going on for probably an hour and a half before the show even started. Paul does tell me that the LED will run for up to 5 hours. Very, very easy to put on your bike. There's no wiring harness. It comes with a pigtail if you want to put the tail light on as well. And right now is the time I want to give you the special coupon code. And don't forget, it's only available to people who are watching this show right now, and there are only 20 available. You'll need to go over to PrestonPettyProducts.com, put in the coupon code 12345. That's code 12345. Go over to Preston Petty Products. Only 20 people are going to get this special, and it's $40 off. $40 off. Retail is usually $179.95. You can get it because you're watching Vintage Motocross Q&A for $139.95. Only 20 available. Go over to PrestonPettyProducts.com. Put in the code 12345. We're in the finish line, brought to you by Northwest Mako CZ. Northwest Mako CZ is taking a little bit of a sabbatical this week, so they don't have any specials going on. We wish everyone over there at Northwest Mako all the best. We do have t-shirts still available, both gray and white for just $19.99. It's got a logo across the front, my autograph across the back, and you can still get a hoodie if you should desire. Follow the link in the show description. Get yourself a Vintage Motocross Q&A t-shirt or hoodie. Sponsorship opportunities are still available. I'm going to be making another video tomorrow after the show is over. I don't think I'm going to do it tonight anymore, but we need to get the word out there a little bit more that there are sponsorship opportunities available. It's a great way to reach people. I did put a post on the Vintage Motocross Q&A Facebook page today. Last week we reached over 25,000 people. 25,000 people had access to this show last week, between all the people that share it, all the people that put it on their page, it going on Facebook, and that's not even counting YouTube or LTV, television station out in Southampton, New York. 25,000 people. You got a product or a service that you think people might be interested in, you want to reach 25,000 people a week, get a hold of me, I'll get you a sponsorship proposal package. I think that about wraps it up for us here tonight at Vintage Motocross Q&A. I want to thank Jordan, Chelsea, and Susie for putting the show together. Thank you for your comments during the Just How I See It segment. Don't forget, join us next week at 6. And if you want to keep commenting on the gas situation, you could do that. And yeah, tomorrow I'm going to put up another post about sponsorship opportunities. So go back to the page and you'll see what's going on there. Robert Fish, congratulations on being the random share giveaway winner. Jordan, Gino.
He's proud of his new hair.
Gino got a haircut. He's very, very happy. Good night, everyone. Thank you for watching Vintage Motocross Q&A.